You could have seen the face that you froze on.
Oh no, it was beautiful.
Anyway, good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Good morning, Turkey Tots. Happy Tuesday, Kaylee. I'm sleepy.
Oh yeah, we have our matchy mugs. I still have a little fog in the brain.
I should have taken a cold shower or something this morning.
Did beep myself in the shower. If anybody wants to give me a cold plunge, I would love it. Anyway, this episode is basically brought to you by I Have Questions, which is like a throwback to our original vibe. But, back when we used to start off with a question every time. This all started sort of when I went and got another tattoo. And God bless the tattoo artist. Shout out to Jazz at Fortune Tattoo, because she let me ask incessant questions for like an hour while she was working. Because we were sitting there and I was just so curious, how do you start tattooing? And who or what do you practice on? And do they make fake skin? And how did you learn? And how did you decide? And I don't want to tell her own story for her, but it was just really interesting. And it sparked my constant curiosity, which is probably why I'm in this degree field, or partially why, of just asking people that do different things questions and then shutting up and letting them answer, because you can learn things. It's fascinating. And I know it's not my theory. I know it's someone else's somewhere, but I don't know how it got into my brain. But the whole concept of curiosity and staying curious and being open and asking questions is a great way to develop empathy and compassion for people, because it's requiring you to suspend your own judgment of something. So beside it being a good practice on life and empathy, I think it's also just fun. And I think it's good for people to stay curious and want to learn. So there you go.
I like it. When you said my theory or whatever theory, you said curiosity, and I was thinking kills the cat. I'm like, well, this is not applicable. That's not good. That's so different. That's a different context.
I guess that's poking around too much.
And
I don't
finding
know.
Poisonous things. Yeah, I don't know. But it is fun. And there's so many things that you don't know. And even beyond that, there's so many things you don't know that you don't know. So it's fun to just ponder these questions and get feedback, listeners. This is your time now to answer these questions if you can. I'd love to hear.
Yeah, so that's basically the goal. Is I thought I would fling all these random questions that started popping into my mind into the universe, and we're hoping that we can get some listener feedback and some responses. We will answer some of the questions that we're asking of y'all if they apply to us. And then hopefully we'll get enough feedback where we can share with you guys in an upcoming episode. As far as my tattoo artist questions, not to tell all of them, but she said she initially practiced on like an orange before, because she said, I guess fake skin is pretty readily available now and it's pretty decent.
Oh, wow.
So you can get it, but back when she was learning, it wasn't very easy to access. So they would give her an orange to practice on.
That's wild.
And then, and then she said she kind of started by doing touch-ups when people needed stuff gone over again. And then she would give free tattoos to her friends in the service industry, especially, who just already had a million and didn't care. But then I kind of also realized, okay, this person is an artist. She's already an artist. She's already fucking fantastic at drawing. It's just learning how to pick up a new tool to create with.
Yes. Whereas if I started to try to tattoo, it would be like a 2-year-old was drawing on you, and that would not be good. There's a level of artistry that I forget about that they already have, most of them, if not all of them. It's just, different applications. Interesting.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, duh. You didn't learn how to draw on somebody. You already knew how to draw. You were just learning how to create what's in your head with a tattoo needle instead of your, charcoals or paints or whatever it was that you were using before. I don't know why that wasn't obvious to me. But as we were talking, it's like, oh, duh. Like, you're already good at this. You're just learning a new medium. Anyway.
So weird. So fascinating.
No, I still, though, would be so nervous. Yeah. The steady-handedness it would require to know that you're practicing on something that's permanent for somebody else.
It's not just a piece of paper that you can't erase. It's someone's body where they will live until they die with the creation on their body. It's very stressful. I would not do well.
I don't know. I shut up after she got done with the outline because I felt like after that point, then she kind of zooms in when she starts shading. But
yeah.
Anyway, I was appreciative of her to answer all my yaps.
Hey, turkeys, real quick, we want to tell you about our fun new free craft corner. Every quarter, in line with the equinox or solstice, we are going to send out new farts and crafts projects. You can find the link in the show notes. Just drop us your email. We promise not to spam you, but we'd love for you to join us. Now back to the show.
Any hoodles? I'll start off with my first couple, and then I'll pass it to you. Does that work?
Yeah, that works.
I did my nerd alert journaling, or wrote these in a journal again.
Oh, before you get to your list, I have a quick little story as to why I'm so tired. Which leads me into a first question, and then we can bounce back. So, we talked offline about this, but my son is not sleeping very well these days, and it's probably because he's teething. So there's many different factors, but he can't tell us, so I don't know. So the fun, crazy story that I have is that 4 nights ago now, he still is in our bedroom, and he was just crying. I just couldn't take it anymore, so I took him to bed with me. So anyway, we're laying in bed. He ends up waking up in the middle of the night and is just a screaming fit. I mean, like, he is distraught, and I'm very confused and stressed and annoyed, but I love him. So I'm like, okay, like, come here, whatever. It goes on for like an hour. Kenny has to work the next day, so I'm just like, go into the other room, get some sleep. I will figure this out. I tried everything. Long story short, we ended up falling asleep, but he was still very like in and out of it, fussy. Kenny was no longer in the room. I started to dream. I believe it. I was dreaming. I had to have been. We were in our bed in the same position as real life. And you know when like a movie thing, or like you're in a surround sound or some visuals, and it's like pulsing, like doom, 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 and your whole vision is kind of like distorted. That's what was happening in my dream as we were laying in the same position as real life. And I look over to the right of my bedroom where the windows are, and I swear on everything, in my dream, I saw a shadowy figure that somewhat looked like an alien or a ghost, or I'm not sure. And it was pulsing, and I had the gut reaction in my dream. This is the most like lucid dream I've ever had, where I yelled because I could feel something like welling up inside me, like all this energy. And all of a sudden I yelled, "Stop!" And immediately I woke up in a freaking panic, like my heart's up here. And I'm like looking around the room, but I swear to God, like it felt real weird and like, was that a dream, or did I have an alien or a ghost in our bed? But it brought me to the question. My first question is, do you believe in aliens or ghosts? Because I know I do before this story, but that was really weird. I was like, is our child teething, or are they getting like terrorized by a ghost in the house? Or, you know what I'm saying? It was the weirdest thing. And I know that sounds crazy to people, but it did go through my head, especially after I dreamt that.
That's so weird.
I didn't like it.
Lucid dreaming.
It felt too real.
Did Kenny hear you yell?
No, I yelled in my dream.
Oh, I was just curious if it came out in real life.
I don't think so. If he did, he didn't hear it. Isn't that creepy?
That is weird. I definitely do believe in ghosts, or like energies that we don't have.
Some kind of spirits. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something of some genre. And I do think it makes sense that kids are more in tune or more sensitive to some of that energy than we are, because they don't have all the, I don't know, walls up in their brain or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your house is new, so
I know what was here beforehand. I know. I thought about this already. So let's pray in the Lord's name that there's no ghost.
And that it's just his teeth, and that it was just your brain taking your top tier fear and turning it into that. But
Exactly.
I still don't like it for you.
So anyway, that's
We
my
have
my lead story.
Our house is over 100 years old, and we've been waiting for our ghost, but we haven't really encountered one. And I only want one if they're friendly and fun.
Yes. Same.
So I'll take no ghost over a mean ghost, but I was kind of hoping for something. Okay. So I guess that's our first question to the audience. Do you believe in ghosts / aliens / spirits, and do you have a story?
I want
Kayla's
the
for sure
stories.
always down for a ghost story.
Yes, please.
Or an alien story. My first two questions are very lame, but more just nosy. I'm a nosy motherfucker. How did you meet your significant other? And who asked who out? And if you're of the same gender, does that muddy the waters of the expectations of who asks who out? Or does it just make it easier because it's whoever does it first?
Good question.
Jason and I met. Well, he was a customer for forever at Starbucks. Then I started going to his gym, and then I asked him out. So I mean, we didn't do the quote unquote traditional thing either. But I'm nosy.
It's funny because we both didn't do traditional because we met randomly at a bar. I hate that that's part of the story, but it's honestly really funny. But who cares? And then I ended up asking him out, or I ended up asking him for his number. And that's what spiraled into all of this. So
It works out.
women, you can do it too. Just
It's
don't
true, it
propose
works.
to them. Because if you're at the point where he hasn't proposed and you feel the need to propose, there's probably something else going on. You know what I'm saying? Same gender, different story. A heterosexual couple, I feel like, I'm sorry, traditionally I feel like the man needs to propose.
I just
Unless
would
you-
want them to.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to know about any of the ladies that proposed to their man.
I won't judge.
It's so interesting. Like, if you propose to him, do you buy yourself an engagement ring?
No, I think you just buy him.
I mean, no, you
Oh, yeah.
wouldn't. But like, what do you? Maybe in that scenario, it's kind of you are proposing that you guys should get married, and then maybe he still gets you a ring. Maybe
It's
you
just-
don't believe in rings. Do other countries do the same engagement ring? Because I feel as though probably not.
Probably not. It's kind of crazy that women get an engagement ring and then a wedding band. I never knew that until I got older.
Yeah, I mean, my wedding band's just a plainy maney, which is fine with me, but it is weird. The engagement's more expensive. Anyway, whatever. Okay. My next question in the world for people is, do you want kids, men included? And if so, or if you already have them, do you want more?
Mhm.
It's just
That's
a
a good
fun thing
question.
to know. My
That
answer is probably not, but I don't know.
Probably not on all fronts. Yeah.
Your
Time will
turn.
tell. I have well, you know my answer, but I would like another child, if not two more. But that begs the question, which is my next question. Is it, I know it's not the same challenge level. So is it double the challenge or is it triple the challenge when you go from one kid to two kids? Because, you know, like even one dog to two dogs, it's not just double the work. Somehow it's triple the work. So I'm only imagining, is it quadruple the work? But then at a certain age, if they're old enough, it may be more helpful. I don't know. So that's my
Yeah.
question.
I don't have any clue, but I imagine in my head that it would be sort of a curve.
Mhm.
Initially harder, but as if they are closer in age, then they have someone to play with later.
Or
'Cause
if
for
they're
sure,
not
me and my
similar in
brothers-
age, like you took care of them more, like the older adult, or excuse me, the older sibling. If they're
Mhm.
a good amount of years older, they can help as well. You know, I don't know.
I definitely think I think my friend said that 0 to 1 kid was harder for her than 1 to 2 because of the lifestyle changes. They were already in the flow when they had their second of, we have kids and this is what we do. And she knew what to expect with her body. And, you know, not everything was the same, but she had said that it was easier for her mentally because there's such a shift when you have kids initially, at least for her. She, you know, and they're very active and they do things. It's not like their whole life shut down, but she was saying that was an easier transition for her.
I like
and then
that.
I've also heard that once you're outnumbered, it's chaos.
I can see that too.
Oh, okay. I can't answer this question, but for those of you in the world in a polyamorous relationship, can you please explain to me why? How did you get there? Why did that seem appealing? Are there different versions? Where is it a soup of everyone? Is it individuals at different times? Do all the points of the triangle interact? And then can you give me the actual answer of the pros and cons, not the TikTok version where you're just trying to convince people? Because I'm so curious.
I'm curious how people don't have jealousy or an ego with this stuff.
There's a 0% interest on my part. I could never do it. I don't have I would murder someone. But for those of you who do, and maybe this is why I'm so curious, because I cannot physically fathom it, please tell me about it.
Agreed. On all fronts that you just said. I could never, but I'm curious just how people get to that point. Or
real nosy,
I really want to know, if you are in one, how long have you been that type of sexuality? Does it last forever, or is it a phase? Did you go through a phase, or is it a whole thing for you? You know what I'm saying?
It spawned, a lot of this is spawned by my constant obsession of watching polygamous shows. And I mean, I understand the religion ones because there's religious mandates, but then there's this whole other show called Seeking Sister Wives. I don't know what my camera just did. There's a whole other show called Seeking Sister Wives, and it's all these people that are doing it, and it's not necessarily religious based. So then I go again back to why.
That's interesting to me.
Fascinating.
I think your camera saw a ghost, which is why it went up there. You want to go?
I have another relationship related question, which is if you're married / in a long-term committed relationship, how do y'all do your money? This has always been an interesting one for me. Do you have 2 separate bank accounts? Do you have 1 bank account? We have each our own and a joint for all of our household stuff. I know in the olden days, it was just standard practice that you had 1 single account. I don't know. I'm just nosy about it.
I feel like in this day and age, it's not as common, but I still know people who do that. For us, we always talked about getting a joint account and then having our own separate ones. But honestly, we're both commission. It's just different. So we basically just set up our accounts to pay certain things. Like I take this and he takes all of these things, or I pay for the groceries and he pays for all the, internet, cable, whatever. So we just end up paying. We don't have a joint account. We have joint like savings and investments, but we have our own accounts that we can spend from, split up the bills as evenly as possible. And then whatever's left, whatever, dude, I don't care. He doesn't care. It's just what's worked for us.
It's very interesting. I could see how people could be shady and there could be a concern. Ours is nice because it's with our same bank. So it's really easy for us to pass money through to each other too with the joint. Sorry, there's creaks. My floors are creaky and I moved my feet around. We also lived together first and I think he as well. It didn't seem prudent to have all of our money in one account before we were married, but we wanted an easy way to be able to pay bills and things like that without having to live a Venmo life. And then we got married and we just kept it that way. But it's very interesting. Growing up, I thought you had to have one account. It had never occurred to me that there was a different way to do it. I have a hair touching me.
I hate that feeling.
How can hairs touch me all day that are attached to my head with no alarms? But if something is not attached to my scalp and it touches my arm, I freak out. Okay.
I wonder, that's a good question. Doctors, neurologists, does it mean when they're connected to your head up here, they send a different touch feel signals down to your arms? Wow, words. Now that I'm growing my hair out, it's so different. I never used to have this problem. I'm all over the place now with my hair and it drives me crazy.
It's a weird feeling, dude. Okay. That's the end of my relationship questions, I think.
Those are really good. And I'm curious as well to follow up, if you do or have shared a bank account, is there any stories where you got ski-rooed out of it? I'm curious because I've heard some things.
I have too.
My question for the people, and again, this is going to sound really judgmental, and it's not. So in all sincerity, I just want to know and have someone explain to me the appeal of being a cat person. Just like literally like, you know, like the 5 to 10 cat people. If you have a cat or 2 cats, that's different. That's like, you love cats. Sure. I like dogs. Whatever. But when you're like cat lady level, I just am so curious. There's so much hair. Speaking of hair, it's just so much. It's so much. I also have a problem because I'm allergic.
Are you talking when we get to is it 3+, 4+?
I would say 3+ if you're single and 4+ if you're in a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like 2 if you're single is max. And then 3+, I don't know.
It's really funny because when you first said this, I thought you meant people that dress up as cats and live as cats. And
That
I would also
too.
love.
Please explain. Please explain why schools are being asked to put litter boxes in the schools for their cat children. That's different. But the furry people too? I have lots of cat related questions.
Okay, so I didn't understand cat people, period. One cat people. Because I've just never had an emotional attachment to a cat because the cats I had growing up were dicks. The very first cat that I had was an orange tabby. And when I was a kid, it would pop off. It would like jump out at things and scratch me. And then I would cry at night because I couldn't move my legs because the second I moved, he would like jump on my head and start attacking me. And looking back, he was a kitten and I think he was playing and he was just a playful nocturnal animal. But I didn't know that and I was so scared. So I'm sort of thinking that may have been what set the tone. But then when Jason and I got together, he had a cat. And I was like, oh, God. But he was not a cat man. He was a man with a cat. And that is a distinction. But he did explain that it was nice to have something to come home to and to have an animal in the house. But he could leave for long weekends and she would be fine by herself.
That makes sense.
I totally could see that if I had a job where I had to work long shifts because he worked 12-hour shifts and you didn't want to have to pay and do the dog walker or doggy daycare or all that stuff. I would rather have a pet than no pet. And I would rather have a cat than a bird or a lizard.
What about a fish?
So then you might as well just have a lamp. I don't understand. They're cool to look at. I don't feel as though they're giving anything back to you.
Yeah.
Fish people, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Oh, these are great. Oh, I now have some job-related questions. How did you get into your current job field / career / college degree?
That's an interesting question. I have an answer. It was pure luck and pure, what's the phrase?
Serendipity.
That too, but what is it when you cross off all your options and you're left with one? What's wrong with me?
Oh, like process of elimination.
Ding, ding, ding. That's what I was trying to say. My brain, 4 hours of sleep. College. It was like, well, this is kind of the only one I like, I guess, because all these other ones, there's too many factors. I just didn't like it. So I applied for one college, got into one college, went to college, didn't know what I wanted to do, knew what I didn't want to do, so narrowed it down to business. Basically, I didn't want to do financing, accounting, or whatever the other one is. So I went with the blandest, broadest thing of marketing. And then after college, I just happenstance to get a job with this current job, like literally all per chance. And I've been doing it for almost 10 years. So that's me.
That's so crazy. I didn't know you only applied to one college.
I was like, shit.
That's so funny.
I'll test my luck here. No, they accept everyone. It's fine.
Oh my gosh. I got into social work. My parents told me don't ever become a social worker. Then I took an intro to social work class and went, well, fart. I went and got drinks / dinner with one of my social worker friends who came into town, Kelly, the one that gave us the amazing Turkey Tots cup mugs. And we were talking about it. And I was thinking, half of me thinks I got into social work because I was good at reading people's emotions because I had an emotionally volatile parent. So I just got really good at it. If I'd grown up in a different situation, would I have still honed these skills and been interested in this job? I don't know. And then I was joking with her that they brought an intern this was like 6 months ago, to my office to introduce them. Here's the new social work intern. Here's one of the social workers. And she's like, oh, why did you pick social work? I was like, do you want the real answer, girl? Or do you want me to give you the answer? And I was like, I don't know, because I'm good at figuring, I am interested in people and I do enjoy helping people. And that is a motivator. I did always want a job that was fulfilling to me. But I said, man, some of these skills I think I developed as survival mechanisms more than anything. And she's like, well, you wouldn't want to do anything else, right? And I was like, bruh, if I were good at math, I would be the fuck out of this field in 5 minutes flat. The intern coordinator shuffled her out of my office immediately.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, but don't ask me questions. I mean, I love my job. I'm in a great spot. It's very fulfilling. Things are very calm. I've wormed my way into the perfect little spot. But if I could go back in time and be good at math and science and be an engineer or some shit, I don't know, man.
So many possibilities.
Whatever, it's fine.
That's interesting.
I'm not sad about it, but her and I were both cracking up about this. Like, if someone asks me what they should do, if someone's dead set on doing something in the mental health field, I'll tell them to get a social work master's because it's pretty versatile compared to some of the others. But if they're on the fence about what they're trying to do, I'd be like, are you good at something else? Because I would do that.
Dang, that's interesting. I've never heard your perspective on that.
I mean, it's fun. It's fascinating. Like I said, it goes real good with my nosy Nelly behaviors, but there are days when I'm like, damn, I wish I was good at science and could have been a pharmacist or something.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You're never going to make a lot of money in this field. And I'm making the most money I could be making, which is fine.
Goodness.
It's not all about money, but money helps. Money helps. Don't let anyone tell you it doesn't.
Yeah, people who say money doesn't buy happiness, I beg to differ, but also you need a ground and basis and foundation of happiness to begin with. Money makes you more of what you are. So if you're happy, it'll make you more happy. If you're a butthole, it's going to make you more of a butthole.
Money definitely prevents stress at some level. I mean, anyway, okay. I need to start punching through these a little more quickly. For those of you in the world who have not been a perpetual employee like me, what's it like to own your own business? How did you do it? I have so much admiration. I find all of that so daunting, but I think it's really cool. So tell me your small business owner stories.
I'd love to hear those as well. Do you have some more rapid fire? You want me to keep going?
I'll just finish off my last job related question. Does anybody out there work a cubicle job and like it? Because everyone always makes fun of the cubicle jobs and shits on them. Is everybody in a cubicle job just a stepping stone to their next thing that they actually want to do? Or are any of them happy about it? I need to know.
Honestly, I've thought about this. If I could make a decent amount of money, I don't think I would be a bad fit for a cubicle job. That sounds like I'm kind of bringing myself. I'm not trying to assume any type of cubicle job positions because I like clerical work. I don't mind like doing stuff like that. However, my one qualm with the cubicles is all the fucking tippy-tappy noise that I can't see, but I can hear around me, and the smacking and the tapping and the chit-chatting and that I couldn't. The noise alone, even if I loved it, that would drive me away from a cubicle job.
You'd have to have noise canceling headphones or a pretty heavy duty sound machine.
I have those now and I can still hear through them sometimes, and it almost makes it worse because it's even more muffled and it's just a tiny little fraction of a noise. And then I'm like, what?
So interesting. Okay. Your turn.
Few of mine, very random. Some of these are more hypothetical, or no, maybe not hypothetical, but what are your thoughts on this? Because we don't have answers. As in, if you sink into quicksand, would anyone ever know? Like, that is an actual question. Like, literally, how do you know if someone died in quicksand?
I don't know.
Can you
They're
fish
just
them
gone.
out? Yeah, that's crazy.
Or same with a sinkhole.
Or
this is giving me some real Atlantis vibes.
Well,
the day that you said you would live in Atlantis. I love the way your brain works.
I don't know why or how. My other question, maybe someone will know this. Who was the first person to test the parachute system? Is that not terrifying? Which then leads me to, who has skydived? Do we like it? Do we not like it? Is it terrifying? Did you have you skydived?
No. Do you have a desire?
We did already.
You did?
Uh-huh. And I don't want to do it again.
I think I remember this now. I have no desire. I have no interest. I have no desire.
I think it's the FOMO in me. I don't want to live my life without doing certain things. Now, I will never bungee jump because that scares me and I feel like my ankles are going to pop off and I'm just going to go flying. But the skydiving thing, I was like, okay, one and done. Originally, I was like, yeah, I'll do that again. Super fun. Not as scary. I mean, it's still scary. But then the more I thought about it after we were done, I was like, I got through it once. I'm not going to take the chance again. Like, one and done is good enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any like feelings about people doing it. I do have a fear of heights. I could get over it. I don't know.
But how did the first one do? How did the first one do it?
I mean, our military has been jumping out of planes for a long time, so I'm assuming they've perfected at least some of the things. I want to know, for any of the massage therapists out there, what are your biggest pet peeves when you do a massage? And then what is your worst massage story? If someone's trying to feel you up or something and it's a guy that's just a shitbag, I hate that. And you don't need to share that if it's traumatizing, but just, is it gross when someone has a hairy back, or is it harder for certain types of people? I don't know. Very interested.
Wait, I want to know if most of the ladies, some men at the nail salons talk shit or not. I need one of those immediate translator earpieces in my ear to see what they're saying, because I'm so self-conscious when I go and get my nails done.
If you ever, I don't like getting my nails done, but I was going to say you could go with me because they would for sure be talking about my feet and my hands and not yours.
No. Okay. Someone tell me how glitter is made.
Oh, never thought of that.
Apparently it's like a secret.
Interesting.
Yeah. If anyone knows, comment below.
Fascinating. Multi-hair color people, where do you work? And also, how did you decide to do this? Because I've never worked a job where that would have been allowed. And I don't know. There just seems to be a similar shade of blue that a lot of people get. And I just want to know how work arrived.
Periwinkle blue. No, I don't know what that is. That's so funny. Okay, this is a serious question. Do you believe in heaven and hell? Do you believe in reincarnation? Or something entirely different? Or nothing at all?
I do like that question. This is not an opportunity for someone to come on here and try to win my salvation. You can keep those comments to yourself, YouTube. Next. Neck tattoo people, literally, how did you survive? Because I cannot fathom.
Or genitalia people. Tattoo people.
But I almost feel like your neck would be worse. I mean, yeah, the pain I can imagine would probably be worse on your wiener or something, but just on your throat, especially guys with your Adam's apple or your eyelid. After having my forearm done, which I've had ribs and now upper arm and forearm, and hands down my forearm right up on my elbow pit, was horrid.
Worse than your ribs?
So bad. I think so.
Wow.
My ribs were more painful and I don't know. This was more sensitive, and it got more sensitive more quickly.
Interesting.
My under boob was pretty rough. I don't know. But neck, I'm never going to get a neck tattoo, but I'm just fascinated by people who can withstand it.
Okay. Do you put the toilet paper with the flap over or under? Serious question.
I'm an over only because of Jason.
Oh my God. I'm an over because it's the only right way to do it. Come at me.
So funny.
In the comments.
So funny.
Oh, yeah.
I just did it willy-nilly before.
Unless you have a cat or a child that's going to yank down every part of the toilet paper roll, there's no other way to do it. It would be... Anyway.
I think it's easier now, having lived a life of all of them. I think it tears off better.
So much better.
Okay. It's also, I find it easier to locate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
That was me trying to reach under.
I was afraid that any version of me looking like I was trying to find the tip of the toilet paper was going to be sexual, so I kept my hands to myself. Women 5'10" or over, do you wish that you were shorter? And women 5'2" and under, do you wish you were taller?
Well, I'm not 5'10", but I still wish I was shorter, so...
How tall are you?
5'8".
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess all the ladies in the middle could maybe want to be one thing or the other as well.
It's fine.
We've discussed I'm fine with my height.
Are you
last one of the height questions. Men, if you're under 6 feet, are you mad? Because that seems to be a real benchmark in the dating apps.
Which is so stupid, but that is an interesting question. Okay, are you the type of person who will tell the waiter that your order is wrong, or will you just suck it up and eat it and not say anything?
Ooh, it depends on how busy they are, and it depends what the wrong is.
If it's
like my chicken's undercooked, there's no option. I need to eat.
Yep. Agreed.
If it's sweet potato fries instead of regular fries, and they're super busy, and the server is nice, then who cares? I like both things.
Yeah. If there's anything with the meat, though, I have the problems. Undercooked. Yeah. You know, that's gross.
Mm-hmm. I think that's fair. Oh, for couples that are in a relationship with a major height difference, do you have logistical issues? It seems as though certain positions wouldn't work.
That's valid. It has to be the case.
If the parts don't. Anyway, I don't know. I've always wondered that when you have an extreme height difference.
That's too funny. Okay, this is a really random question, but I would love to hear your comments of what's your favorite fast food restaurant chain? Just curious.
I think mine is the Lord's Chicken.
I know, that's up there. I can't really think of anything else besides that one. Chick-fil-A.
There's some iconic ones on the West Coast that I have not had. I think I had In-N-Out and it was pretty good.
In-N-Out hamburgers, amazing. In-N-Out fries, not great. Unless you eat them immediately.
I do love a Culver's burger. I don't know if Five Guys counts as fast food either, but I love a Five Guys burger, and I love their Cajun fries.
We can take Five Guys. Shake Shack is probably my number one, actually. I just remembered.
I don't know if I've had that. Wahlburgers was good.
I've never heard of that one.
It's owned by the Wahlbergs.
That makes sense.
That's the name. We ate there when we were in Vegas because I didn't feel like paying $1 million and we were hungry.
That's funny.
My last question for the people is, what is it like to be good at math? I cannot comprehend it. What's it like to be able to remember a number more than 2 digits long? I just can't fathom it.
It's crazy because I feel like my brain does work well only within the context of, like, I had 1 semester of calculus and I actually did really, really well, even though it was very complicated because I was like in it and I was like so focused. When I say maybe 2 weeks went by after I got an A in that class and an A on the final, so toot my own horn.
Yeah, dude.
But 2 weeks later, all gone. Don't remember a single thing. I could not tell you anything.
Dude, I actually did do pretty well in pre-cal. I think that was the first math class I got an A in since like elementary school. Otherwise, I was always riding the B train. But it was because it was all puzzles. It wasn't real math.
Oh.
Like the proofs.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed balancing equations and doing stuff like that because I felt as though I was doing a puzzle and that part clicked with me, but not the normal maths and not the... Okay. Anyway, I enjoyed the satisfaction of solving a proof and getting the puzzle right, but otherwise I could not fake attention span to pay attention to anything else. I was like, why do I need this?
Good questions, Kaylee. I want to hear what the people have to say. We asked a lot of random all over the place questions.
So many. And if anyone has questions for us, I'll probably answer basically anything. But hopefully we hear some things back and then tune in because we'll come back and read these answers along with some listener feedback that we've gotten that has been really delightful. I'm just slowly hoarding it for later.
I love it so much. I'm excited. All
right, good people. Well, until next time, we'll talk to you later. See you next Tuesday, and I love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.